Dustin Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dustin Rider here with my review of Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode Helping Hand. Real quick side note here at the beginning, I think my numbering for these has gone off again like they did with Supercharge because I tried not to let it happen, but then I did. But I usually go by my cable guide when I forget the name of the episode. So like I'll pop open the DVR and be like, oh yeah, that was the episode name and number. But like they include the holiday specials in the numbering, even though they're not a part of the official count. So I end up with like 21 episodes. But so, bottom line is, I think I messed up the number. So I think after this point, I'm just going to title the videos, you know, review Power Rangers Ninja Steel episode and then the title. And then if I remember to put in the description, I'll put the right number. But just to avoid that, because that's kind of annoyed me 2 years in a row, it's kind of inconsequential, but it would bother me if I didn't mention it. Also, if there's a small rattling sound, I apologize. It's super windy here, and my chimney will rattle, but I really can't control that. Anyway, so this episode was technically the penultimate episode of the season, and it was very okay. It wasn't a very good penultimate episode in terms of like what they're usually supposed to be. As I mentioned in the last few weeks, where we haven't really been building momentum to like a finale. It's kind of like Supercharge is done, where we've just been doing filler until the finale just kind of arrives. This did do some setup for it, but it was weird because I'm going to compare it to Supercharged stuff, but I still think that these episodes have been more enjoyable than some of the Supercharged filler, for me at least, for me at least. That's what I was trying to say. But my point with this is that it reminded me of Supercharge's structure, where they had this really weird thing in the last half of Supercharge, where like what should have been the A plot, like the important thing happening, was the B plot, and the A plot was filler, which it was weird. And that's kind of what this week was, where the A plot was this stuff with Sarah and her mom, and the B plot was kind of this very small setup for the finale with like the Ninja Steel and stuff. And I liked the idea of bringing in Sarah's mom and doing a Sarah focus, because it's always nice to see a focus episode on any of the characters. And we very rarely get to see any of the characters' parents. And it wasn't like a lack of enjoyable storyline, because I do like Sarah as a character, but I think she's one of the more enjoyable ones for me. But it kind of reminded me, again, I hate to keep doing comparison, but of the episode, I don't remember the name of it, but it was an episode with, in Dino Charge with, I'm trying to remember Claire's name, the Purple Ranger in the show, Miss Morgan, Kendall. Like when her grandmother came in, and it was a focus episode on her, and a rare one at that, but it wasn't really about her. All we really learned about Sarah in this episode was she has a mom, and she has a common argument with her mother that most kids have with their parents, which is they're just trying to help and they get in the way. And it was again kind of an oversimplification of a problem where it's like, I should have just apologized. I'm like, well yeah, but you could also just voice that, hey, maybe don't get in my way, because then it's just gonna happen again. But like that was the moral, was her mother was trying to help, she got overly mad at her, and she realized that she overreacted, sort of, not really, when she did the same thing to Redbot. So like all we really learned was basic facts about her that's true of like 99% of people. So I don't think that necessarily introducing a parent or relative is a bad thing in terms of developing a focus on a character, but in these two cases, I think it didn't really tell us anything new, and I think it's a wasted opportunity to actually learn something, honestly, like learn something about Sarah or do some sort of development. So I think it was kind of a failure in that regard. Like it wasn't an absolutely awful story, it was just kind of there, and I just felt like it was missing an opportunity. This episode also, which is weird for being a filler like this, is it introduced us to the Ultrazord, which basic plot was they needed to use the last of the Ninja Steel to create this Zord to allow the three to combine. And I actually do like the design for the Ninjas and Ninja Steel's Ultrazords. I think it was clever. I like the whole writing in the Megazord thing. I've always kind of dug them, but it was such a weird secondary introduction to have for something like this. I did kind of find the idea interesting that they were running out of Ninja Steel. I don't remember if that's been brought up until this episode. I feel like that was the first time, but regardless, I think it was an interesting idea, and that they sort of scanned space for one and then found a meteorite. So I thought that was just kind of the most interesting development that really happened. The sort of cliffhanger that hooked the episode into what's going to be the finale was Victor and Monty finally finishing their invention, and it was like a magnet that sucked all the ninja stars except for their power stars out, and they were kidnapped by Galvanex and company. And if Victor and Monty wanted to prove that they were even more trash than they already were, they totally messed things up for the Rangers. So that was a thing. I know I already know what's gonna happen in the finale, so unfortunately I don't think they're gonna get killed. So there goes my dreams. But, so that was how it ended. And like, it was a decent-ish cliffhanger, but that would have been better if this just wasn't a filler that they're like, oh yeah, stuff's happening. And also, we are off next week, and then the finale is the week after, which, like, I don't mind when we have random weeks off, but like, it's weird to do it for the finale. Even though it's not like a cohesive part 1, part 2 finale or anything like that, it's weird. It's just weird momentum-wise. It's not a lot of momentum, but there is momentum. I think it would have been better served between this week's and last week's, which is basically like filler and filler. So, but we do have a week off. So yeah, but anyway, overall this was an okay episode. I'd probably give it a 6.7. I wasn't, you know, really mad at it. I just found it to be very average and a lot of missed opportunities, both with the potential Sarah plot and with actually doing stuff for penultimate episodes. Like, if it were me, I would have moved the Sarah stuff to another episode and made it like a good focused episode where we actually learned something real about her. And I would have moved the penultimate stuff, not moved it, kept the penultimate stuff here and just made it about plot. Because, you know, there's, like I said last week, there's an argument to have a filler versus episodic stuff or that's the same thing. Episodic stuff versus serialized for Power Rangers, but typically you should want to be doing more story stuff somewhere in the neighborhood of the 2 to 5 episodes in your season, depending on your story structure. But yeah, so I think that could have been fixed a lot. What's going to happen next week is, since we're off and I forgot about that, I'm actually going to put out a top 5 worst finales video in prep for next week's finale. Last year I did a top 5 best in preps for Supercharges, and I had meant to do a top 5 worst following that, but time just got away from me. But so I've been working on that video, and so that will come out next week, because I wanted to put that in or around the finale area. That sounded weird when I said it like that, but so it'll basically come out a week before. And then I'm planning on doing like a season wrap video, but I'm not like, that would be hilarious, like a Ninja Steel wrap video, like Ninja Steel something. I don't know, that would be hilarious. I just totally distracted myself and I'm sorry. Like a season review, I shouldn't have said wrap. But I'm not sure if I want that to come out the same day as the finale. I don't even know if I'll be filming it the same day as I film the finale review, but sometime within probably a week of Ninja Steel's finale, I'll do probably a season review and stuff like that, just to let you know what's on the horizon in terms of these. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's Dawson Ryder, signing out.